What's up, everyone? I want to start off by apologizing and saying I'm sorry that it took so long for me to make another video. I just realized it's been like 6 months or so. I know there's a lot of people that go to basic in that time frame, and it's all about time. But hopefully I can spread this message out to people that haven't left yet, or people that are still thinking about joining the military. And I've been really busy working about 50 hours a week, going to school full time, getting ready to go on this deployment. So I've had a lot under my belt lately, and I want to talk to you today about how to mentally prepare yourself to go into Army basic training. There's different ways that you can prepare yourself. The first one is to start getting that discipline mode. One of the things that you can do is to start saying yes instead of yeah, or no instead of not. I can't tell you how many times I heard that when I was in basic training, and they wouldn't even say drill sergeant after. Like, they'd be like, they call somebody, or they ask someone a question, and they'd be like, "Hey, private," or something like that, or "Do you have your stuff? Do you have your equipment?" or something like that, and they'd be like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "Yeah." And that's when people start getting in trouble and stuff like that. They're not disciplined. They don't really know, because it's something that they're accustomed to for a lot of their lives, and they can just get away with it in the civilian world, but it's not something that they can get away with in the military. So that's one of the things. The other one is, if you need to practice standing at parade rest for drill sergeants, a good way to start is to stand at parade rest for your recruiter. I know that a recruiter kind of mentioned it to us before, but it's not really something that you know that they really implied. I know that the Guard has something like RSP or something like that, where they actually do have drill sergeants and they have to do all that stuff. But for us reservists and the other active duty personnel, we only have the future soldier functions. And I never really had to encounter it myself, where I've had to stand at parade rest for anybody, because I hadn't left for basic yet and stuff like that. And then I see guys come in at my unit and stuff like that, and they don't stand at parade rest for people just because, they're not in the Army yet, so no one says anything. But, once they come back from basic training, they obviously say something. Depending on who it is, some people don't like when you stand at parade rest for them, but I do, just in case. So that's another thing you can do. Make sure you address them as sergeant or whatever. Yes, sergeant, no, sergeant. Or if they ask you a question, you can answer and then have sergeant at the end. That's one thing that you want to practice, especially talking to drill sergeants, because you could be having a full-out conversation, and you could just slip one time when it comes to basic training, and then all of a sudden you get in trouble. Not slipping as in saying like, yeah, nah, well, that too, but more of like, you're gonna say something, then you just don't say drill sergeant at the end, and they're just sitting there like, yeah, and they're waiting for the drill sergeant part. So that's one thing that they really take strictly there, and I mean probably in active duty as well. And the other one is to prepare to get yelled at and to not respond in a way that would not be tolerated. You got to gain patience and self-control. There's a lot of people that someone flips out at them, they flip out right back. Especially this applies mostly to the very undisciplined people that they were in trouble in high school and stuff like that. They don't really know what to do, so they join the military. And it also can apply to people that are older. People go to basic and they're like 30, 35, 40. They're younger than, they're older than a lot of these drill sergeants. Drill sergeants are like 23, 24, depending. So I know it's tough for them, because they have to listen to somebody that's younger than them, and they're the figure of authority, and it's like, well, I'm older than you. But you have to get that mentality out of your head, because you are a recruit and they're your drill sergeant. So you kind of have to get used to having patience and self-control, saying, all right, I'm not going to say anything, like, I'm just going to keep it to myself, like, don't show your anger, keep it inside, and then you can express that another time to yourself. And one of the other things, prepare for basic to be one of the shittiest experiences of your life. That way it's not so bad when you get there. A lot of people, they don't realize, how bad, they don't realize your situation when you go to basic training. They think it's just this really laid back thing, and, people are just hanging around doing whatever, and they don't watch any of the videos on, like, YouTube and stuff like that. The recruiter doesn't really tell them anything, or the recruiter lies to them, they tell them that they're gonna have a great experience and all this other stuff, and it's gonna be great. And you get like lobster fed and whatever else, whatever otherwise they feed into you, and they go there day one. All of a sudden, boom, they're out. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many. I think we had like 3 or 4 heat casualties the first day. We had like 3 or 4 people quit the first day, and it's really crazy. It's kind of like, man, like, did you know what you were getting yourself into, type thing. They're obviously gonna train you like you're gonna go to war. I mean, I guess people say it's not as bad as it used to be, but still, I mean, they're not gonna just like tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. You gotta just get prepared to get yelled at. You gotta prepare to get smoked all the time, doing push-ups all the time, being physically active and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm gonna come out with another video how to physically prepare yourself before basic, but that's kind of some of the things that you want to do. And another thing that people don't realize is one thing I honestly didn't think about before I left, and I mean I didn't. It wasn't really a thought in my head, but you need to come to the conclusion that no matter how disciplined and how squared away you are, someone else will always cause the whole platoon to get in trouble, or the whole company to get in trouble, or the whole whatever to get in trouble. I know that you would be squared. You being squared away is one thing that's good, but at the beginning of basic training, other people are going to cause you to get in trouble. There's going to be other people that say yeah or nah, or they don't say drill sergeant, and all of a sudden drill sergeant's going to be like, all right, front leaning vest position, move the whole platoon, and it's not going to have anything to do with you. It's just that someone else caused you to get in trouble because they're not disciplined yet, and it's kind of something that you need to prepare yourself for, because you can do everything in the books, perfect, and you're still going to get in trouble just as much as everyone else, especially in the beginning. I know that once we moved on to white phase and blue phase, there was no more mass punishment, it was more of individual punishment. But other people have had experiences where they've been basically in red phase the whole basic training. So it really depends on where you go, the company that you have, the battalion that you have, and things like that, kind of drill sergeants you have. There's certain platoons will go back to phases depending on how people act, and things of that nature. And there'll be also times where you get in trouble for nothing, and they just smoke you for general purpose, so they'll make up a reason. I remember when I first started basic training in red phase, we'd come back from chow, and all of a sudden we'd be standing in formation, complete silence. Not everybody, they call at ease for the drill sergeant when he walks by, they call attention for the officer, or at ease for the first sergeant when he walks by. But there was just like random moments where they would just start making you do push-ups and stuff like that, take you up to the bay and make you do push-ups and stuff like that, and they kind of make a reason, like in the middle of you getting smoked, they would, people would do push-ups, and then they'd see someone like on their knees or whatever instead of in the push-up position, or front leaning vest position as we call it, and all of a sudden everybody gets in trouble more. But then you're thinking to yourself, like, how did this start in the first place? And you kind of get frustrated at times, but you just got to realize that especially at the beginning, it can happen at any moment, and that sometimes it's not always your fault, and sometimes it's not always someone else's fault. But if it is someone else's fault, you got to be patient. I mean, there's a lot of people that get people in trouble multiple times, but you just got to be like, all right, it's okay, I can get through this. I only have so many more weeks left, I just got to keep staying mentally active, physically active, and well, you're gonna be physically active, but make sure you stay mentally active. And another thing is to not think about family too much. Like, obviously you're gonna miss your family while you're there. I remember, like, when I got my first letter, like, I kind of like watered up a little bit. There was guys that were full out crying in the bathroom when they got their first letter from their loved ones, because reality kind of hit them, like, that they're only gonna be able to write letters to their spouse or their kid, or their girlfriend or boyfriend or mom, dad, whatever. So reality does sink in when I got that first letter, but you gotta mentally prepare yourself. Like, all right, this is what I gotta do this day. This is what I gotta do, and this is what I gotta do to get past the day. Today I gotta go to the range. I gotta qualify. Or today I gotta go to the range. I gotta zero my weapon. Or today we're doing ARM and we're gonna do night shooting, and I gotta focus on that. Or tonight we're doing night infiltration course, and I gotta focus on that. So you gotta keep your mind in the military, because that's what you're there for. You're not there to think about family. I mean, they're obviously a side thought, and they're your motivation to get going, but they shouldn't. You shouldn't think about them too much, and not focus on the mission at the task at hand. So that's basically my summary of mentally preparing yourself for basic training. I could have forgotten a couple things in there, but I thought I pretty much hit the nail on the head. If any of you guys have questions about anything that I said in this video, or in general, if you have any video suggestions, hit me up. I plan on coming out with my next video. I already told you it's how to physically prepare yourself for basic training. I'm going to get a list, make a video. I'm going to try making some more free time this week, because this week is a little more laid back. And just a little update, I'm doing annual training before my deployment training coming up soon. So I will be getting pretty active in the mode of leaving in the next few weeks, but I'm still going to try making videos. I'm not going to try going that much longer without making a video again. I'm going to try doing it within the next week or two. So I'm throwing that out there right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'll respond right away or as soon as I get it. It's a little tough now. I don't really know this Google Plus stuff, but I'm going to try hit and respond, hoping that you get the message, hoping that I get a response if needed. So that's all. Thank you.